What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage, and California is at it again. They are trying to basically dictate the transportation needs of America everywhere. And I'm talking about Senate Bill 961 in California, which would basically not allow you to be able to control your vehicle. Let's talk about it. That's right, guys. Welcome on back to TK's Garage. As we've spoken about California in the past with their Mickey Mouse rules about how much they were going to charge in fuel, or how many road tax miles and all the other ridiculous stuff that they've talked about in the last year to 18 months. This one really is extremely interesting. Senate Bill 961 in California requires every passenger vehicle of the 2030 model year and beyond to utilize a brief one-time visual and audio signal to alert the driver each time the speed of the vehicle is at 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, and include a limiter that keeps the vehicle from going over that 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. So imagine you're out on a road and the speed limit's 55, right? But you got older vehicles that are moving with the flow of traffic and everybody's going 75, right? Maybe they're going 65. Guess what your vehicle's going to do? 10 miles over that 55, 65 miles an hour. That's it. You're not going to be able to keep up with the flow of traffic, which puts not just you, but other drivers on the road at risk. You'll have people up your ass, flashing their high beams, blowing their horns. And what does that mean for you? It puts you and your family's safety at risk. Now, I personally think that California is going to legislate themselves into not having cars. Like, meaning car manufacturers are going to be like, cool, we sell cars in 49 states and we do not mess with California. Just not worth it. It's absolutely, like, you think of the systems that are going to have to be put in place, right? And you think if California does that, right, and manufacturers have to put these devices on their cars, we already saw the abuse of the automakers selling data to insurance companies. I'm talking about GM with OnStar, which caused a bunch of your guys' insurance to go through the roof because they saw how you were actually driving. It was like having that stupid snapshot or tracker that the insurance companies try to get you to pay for, and nobody wants that crap. Absolutely not. But if California does do that, well, I mean, they've passed it. What happens when the federal government goes, ooh, that's a good idea? Boop. And now, because of some BS that they want to keep doing over here, goes everywhere. I can give you an example. The crazy emission standards. Yes, listen, I don't need to hear the comments of, ooh, but TK, you weren't around in the 70s, the acid rain. That's right, I wasn't even a twinkle in my daddy's sack. Okay? That said, you have to understand that what might be good for y'all in California ain't going to work for the guys in Montana. Ain't going to work great for people in Oklahoma. Ain't going to work great, for people in Illinois. It's just not the same. It's not the same thing. And the emission standards, or the way how strict that they have been literally a death nail for most of the automotive industry. Because the crowds, the public, the consumers have spoken. They don't want the EV stuff like that. Yeah, some people do, but everybody doesn't. And we watch the sales at car manufacturers do this, and car manufacturers turn around like Ford to make less EVs and more big gas engine trucks because that's what people want. But this bill is ridiculous. It passed in the Assembly 42-12, and it passed in the Senate 26-9. The only, let me see, I don't know if Newsom signed it yet. Yeah, Gavin Newsom has to sign it. But what's crazy about this is it's not even a fine, right? You know, like when you when a car manufacturer sells vehicles, right? And they have too many that aren't within the emissions or whatever, they have to buy tax credits, EV tax credits. Tesla sells them all day. Stellantis was buying them from Tesla. Or you have to pay fines, all right? So you either buy the carbon credits or you're paying massive fines. This isn't even a situation where it's a fine. It's a crime. It is a criminal offense. It literally says in the bill, once the bill becomes law, violations would not carry mere civil penalties, but would be punishable as a crime. You think auto manufacturers are going to want to deal with that crap in that state? No. They're going to tell their franchisees, hey, sorry, man, we're just not doing business here anymore. You're going to have to buy, if you want one, imagine this, trying to buy a regular car from like Ford or GM, it's going to be like being in Texas and trying to buy a Tesla, you know, back in like 13 or 14, because there was no dealer network. You had to title it in California and then move it to Texas. It was like a mess to try to get a Tesla in some states when they first really were coming out. California State Senator Scott Wiener, what a name, who introduced the legislation in January, was surprised by the intensity of the pushback. Wiener called a text from one of his very best friends in the world telling him what a terrible idea the bill was. On the day of its announcement, as evidence of public disapproval, but an intense response is hardly surprising in light of the bill's original text. SB 961 was about a lot more than just an annoying beep. It's called an automatic throttling of speeding vehicles. The bill required the GPS location of the vehicle compared with a database of posted speed limits to determine the speed limit and electronically limit the speed of the vehicle to prevent the driver from exceeding the speed limit by more than 10 miles per hour. Every passenger vehicle, motor truck, and bus manufactured or sold in the state of the 2027 model year and beyond is incapable of driving more than 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. Given that modern seatbelt alarms require repetitive, successive, and ongoing warnings each time a vehicle exceeds the speed threshold, California drivers have reason to be grateful that such alarms are not merely precluded in the current bill. They also have a reason to regard the bill as superfluous. The most popular phone-based apps, they get into like other stuff where phones and stuff are, I guess, also going to do this, like snitch on you to the police. But one of the things I found very interesting here was not only does it limit your speed, but like one of the first iterations of this is for older vehicles, they're requiring a retrofit or something to be put on your vehicle in order for you to be able to register it in the state of California, where your vehicle will tell on you for speeding. That sounds like a great idea. That sounds like a great idea. We're literally just going to have our own cars telling on us to the state so that the state can just mail us tickets. Doesn't that sound like a great idea? No. California, back again with their wacky BS, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.